Alright, hello all you crazy people out there. My name is Dragonite, and welcome back to Harvest December. This time it's October. We're actually getting closer to December right now. What happens if I can say continue and there's nothing here? Alright. I probably should have guessed, just the save slots will be empty. Anyway, I let out a breath that fogged the air. Mayuri Yasuji walked next to me, her body language timid with her eyes darting left and right as she walks down the corridor. Is this, what's-her-face? Mizuho? Again? Because she's usually the one with Yasuji. I didn't think it would get this cold. This doesn't even count as chilly. Unless he's talking about cold, and as if he's not from here, so maybe this is, what's-his-face? Masaki. Miura said it off Miura said off her shoulder. She didn't forget to add the insult under her breath, city wimp. Okay, so that answers my question. We were walking through a dim corridor of the old school building. The air felt a few degrees lower. It lacked the warmth of people. The light from our torches licked the empty corridors. During cultural festival preparations, we have to keep an eye out for students that are up to no good, especially in places that are dark and isolated like this. What do you think they would be up to? A pregnant pause. Konno-senpai, you're the one that asked. Please stop blushing. You too, Yusuji. Well, we'd better get back to work patrolling. She pushed forward on jittery feet to walk before me. Yusuji, why the sudden courage? I have to make sure I have an escape route. Are you implying I'm going to try something with you? Not exactly. Kohai would roll his eyes if he were here. Here! Miura gave me a death glare. I think it's more likely that I'd be the victim here. As in, heavy rains of verbal assault followed by a thundering fit of physical blows. You make it sound like a weather report. Oh, look at them. I guess they're going to stay late. Miura looked irritated that I blatantly changed the topic, but she stood next to me to look in the direction I was pointing to. Through the window, we could see classrooms lit up on the new building opposite. Some classrooms had dark windows, but that didn't mean they weren't occupied. They were either draped with heavy curtains or obscured with large banners, but there were people working inside. According to the school regulations, they're only allowed to stay till 8, though. Mayuri looked annoyed, being known as the keeper of the law. But she sighed and let it slide because it was a special day for all of us and she knew it was inevitable. We looked back down at the school gates. They were right under our window, but they looked nothing like the gates we were used to. They were now decorated with a 3-meter high arc made of styrofoam, plastered with the bright letters reading Tagami. Tagami. I think I got it right the first time. Tomorrow is our school's cultural festival. Looks like Mizukami's done with her job in time. She knows how to handle the soldiers. Still, most of the classrooms were lighted, and school grounds looked unnaturally bright. I could see Mizukami-san, our student council secretary, standing in the yard. She was giving out orders to the other students with the energy that belied her small frame. Grit your teeth. She slapped the boy's face hard multiple times, going back and forth repeatedly. Thank you, ma'am. I didn't need to see that, especially since the slap boy looked deliriously happy. Well, looks like the old school building is clear. We can go now, Miura said. Aren't you going to comment on Mizukami-san slapping? But she does that all the time. The boy loves it. I didn't really want to know. Maybe you should try doing something naughty in front of Mizukami too, Konno-senpai. Why should I do that? Imagine what she would do to you. I imagined. You pervert. That's entrapment. Wipe that silly smile off your face before you say anything. I'll get back at you for this, Yusuji. What's the matter? Somebody was here. Miori shook an empty can of soda at me. I took a look into the empty classroom. It was dusty and strewn with empty chip bags and soda cans. Help me clean this up. She sighed for the umpteenth time today and took out a plastic bag from her tote. They're exploiting Towada's generosity. It's easy to feel entitled. You are not in the position to say that. I tossed the empty soda can into the plastic bag. I looked back out the window again. There was a brand new banner reading, sponsored by the Towada Group. Thanks to you, our school festival has gone completely out of hand this year. Mashiro made the public announcement that all expenses for this year's cultural festival would be covered by Towada. Everybody ran to exploit it. The cultural festival, normally made as cheaply as possible, now had fresh ingredients from the market for the food stalls and hired cosmetic artists for the haunted house. Also, come visit the God Cafe. We held free cooking classes too. There's a small fairy-like god fluttering from wall to wall, pasting flyers everywhere. Shiro had allowed the other gods out for a couple of days to join in on the festivities. Real spirits were haunting the haunted houses now. The festival was, indeed, getting out of hand. Let's get back to the others. Mayuri flung the bag of trash over her shoulder, carrying it like Santa Claus. I had no reason to object, so I followed. The students were working hard for the big day tomorrow, hammering out the finishing touches on the signboards. Wow. Moving near the building, which was overly populated, the temperature felt like it had gained 10 degrees. Fahrenheit or Celsius? Either way, that's a lot. I have a question, Mayuri suddenly asked. What's a god cafe? I didn't have a clue. No introduction? I thought that was where the introduction was going to trigger. We carried the trash out to find a neat pile of junk forming a small mountain outside. This is bad for the economy. It's alright. Alright for what? Everything is going to end anyway. I knew there was a hidden meaning in her words, but I had a feeling I shouldn't ask. Hey, welcome back. Kohai waved his chopsticks at our tired faces in greeting. Next to his bento box were piles of receipts and invoices tied together with rubber bands. Rubber. Erg. They really don't hold back when they think they have a deep purse. All the receipts would be tallied and sent to Towada because the piles were growing by the minute. Thank goodness we live on the countryside. There weren't many shops that were open till late, so for now, the number of incoming invoices had somewhat slowed. Slide and press. Our head of student council, Mizuho Toyama, was busy stamping the invoices stacked several feet high in with robotic movements. Her arm moved straight up, shifted to the right, stamped down on the red ink pad, and in a reverse motion, went down on the piece of paper. She moves like a crane game. Listen to me, Tony, she cried. I eat good breakfast every day, thanks. I wasn't implying that you're a tiger that eats cereal. I wasn't implying you're like that tiger that eats cereal and plays beach volleyball in the morning. That's a reference that I actually get. You're the one that started the Tony joke. That creature over there won't let me off my duties. It's my life goal to turn you into a machine that manages to give a stamp of approval at least 20 times a minute. I abhor slavery. Unfortunately for you, Marx and have paved out our way. Now hurry up and keep stamping. We've got a long way to go. Yes, ma'am. Mizuho still had a lot of time to serve. The steady rhythm of Mizuho's stamping continued. I could hear Mizukami-san typing away on her keyboard, too. Hey, I didn't realize you had returned. When did you come in? I came in the same time as you did, Masaki. That can't be. What kind of magic was that? I used the Josephson effect and passed through several walls. You're kidding me. I am kidding you. Kagami Mizukami kept on typing away at the keyboard as she spoke. She was known to call everybody using their first name, even if it was a senior. She made her documents using an editor, tugging her selected errors into place at an unbelievable speed. The way her documents took shape without her using paragraphing her text was almost magical. That's a rather extraneous detail, if I do say so myself. I still believe yanking should be done with the YY shortcut. You're my enemy, and you're mine. We would never come to an agreement. What are you two talking about? A religious war. One that would never end as long as we had preferences. I hesitated for a while, wondering if I should attempt an explanation even if it wasn't a topic Kohai would be interested in. Then I thought otherwise. Are you going to buy some food? I pointed at his empty bento box. It was one of those throwaway plastic containers. Hey, we've still got some food if you want it. He must have thought my question was a hint, because he pushed another bento box towards me. I decided I'd accept his offer, and picked up a pair of chopsticks. I then realized I was hungry after patrolling the school grounds with Mayuri. I picked up a piece of steamed fish. Then I heard someone's stomach growl beside me. Fish protein is good for your complexion. Mizukami-san? And the persimmons there are high in sugar, which helps fuel your brain. You can eat it if you want. You can eat it if you want to, you know. I can't stop my hands now. She kept typing the festival pamphlet she was working on. The screen had customized with a black background was filling up with letters at the speed you get when you press on a key without letting go. My mouth can eat though. I think I know what you're asking of me. Why do I feel so threatened? I carried the piece of fish to her mouth. I want the stewed vegetable next. Okay. No carrots, please. How do you know what I'm picking up when you're looking forwards? Echelon. Excuse me? Just kidding. Persimmon, please. Here you go. Bitter. Let me speak to the manager. I couldn't tell if she was serious or not. And steadily, the food in my container disappeared. It's okay, I don't need to eat anyway. Don't cry, you make me feel sad too. Mizukami-san continued with her work. Hey, but where did you get the food? I thought our class was holding a costume race. Yeah, but we've got our own shop, remember? Oh yeah. I'm alive. I remembered. For this year only, the school allowed outsiders to open temporary shops in the festival. We weren't sure whether the people were just eager to use Tawada's money, or if they were simply bored and had nothing else better to do. But there were quite a number of grown-ups participating. I don't think the gods would participate, though, Kohai commented. We were also allowed to make shops of our own with our friends outside of the homeroom class. Our regular party decided to make a temporary Sene shop. No wonder. I thought about the food that was in the container. This was Marino's cooking, wasn't it? Yeah. Sene figured we'd get hungry, so she... Oh, really? We froze. I offered to make you bento too, didn't I, Kohai-senpai? Mayuri said with a chilly smile. Go away! Just go away and stay out of this for once in your life. Well, I couldn't really refuse when the food she'd already put in effort and delivered it here, could I? Kohai began defending himself awkwardly. I couldn't have cared less if it was something from the convenience store. But you're telling me it's that girl that cooked the food? Must have tasted good, huh? Masaki, isn't it time for us to go for our patrol? Tell me it's time for us to go, please. That's right, Kohai, we've got important things to do, and we have to keep peace at the school grounds. We're going to do the job so well even the police will be impressed. Let's go. We both stood up, turned our backs, and headed for the door. In other words, we escaped. The door closed briskly. Mayuri dropped her shoulders. Everything is going to end soon. End? It's over? Mizuho had the worst timing ever. No, not for you. You're going to keep stamping the documents to the end of time. Help! And we're still not at the intro. You know, as the days go by, I think we're creating a bigger minefield. I know. We both sighed. But ultimately, it's our fault. I know that too. As we walked, we peered into the classrooms that filled with people busily getting ready. It was an hour till midnight. Some students had curled up in the spare curtains to take a nap. Even in their dreams, they seemed to be working. It's cold. Apparently, when people slept, the body temperature drops. Now that we were walking through an area where people were napping, the air suddenly felt cold. This doesn't even count as chilly. You say the same thing Yusuji does. You nasty ass, you had to drop Yusuji's name, didn't you? Although I'd expect that from you. We kept silence as we patrolled the school. After that, as we patrolled the school. We could hear the occasional hammer suddenly start striking like an afterthought. Suddenly start striking. The scent of burnt sweet sauce lingered in the air as some students practiced making their savory pancakes. So many S's in this section of text. Their product of choice. Every window had colorful flowers pasted on them with small tearaway coupons attached. Looking down towards the yard, we could see a student had fallen face down on the panel he was painting. His limp hand still had a brush that accidentally created a statement brushstroke. I wondered if he was still alive, or if he had just decided to fall asleep. Whatever it was, we were in a whole new place of our own making. Now the school was united. It was something alive. Everybody was giving their all for the few hours we would celebrate the next day. They were preparing a beginning that would bring a satisfactory end. So, what do you want to do? As in, you haven't eaten. You want to go to Sine's? We could pick up something she's making. We could go pick on whatever she's making. I thought about it but shook my head. Alright, Kohei answered simply. I guess we'd better have a nap too. But if we return now, Yusuji will still be angry. We're going to have a long day tomorrow. Gotta let Mizuho have her rest too. Kohei sighed, but he was smiling. I guess you're right. I smiled back in return. The idea of taking a nap made my limbs feel heavy. I hadn't realized, but I was pretty tired out. This is the end, isn't it? Huh? Capitalize that H. Correcting these guys' grammar and mechanics is just like reflexive now, I'm sorry. Kohai caught me off guard. He suddenly spoke as we climbed the stairwell. After this, we've only got our entrance exams left. You haven't decided yet. The moon's out tonight. Thin shards of light poked through the gaps in the flowers through the window. I knew he would avoid answering my question. Kohai didn't need my opinion. He only needed his own. He didn't need judgment clouded by other people's opinions. He needed to be sure of himself. Just as I need to be sure of myself. Just like the shard of light. Alright, I don't see what that has to do with being sure of yourself. We had to focus on one point. We both looked up at the moon. Midnight had come. Today was our cultural festival. Are we at the end yet? Yes, we're at the end. Alright, so I can cut this off now. And this is going to go on for another few minutes because this thing is a few minutes long. And I'm not editing it out. Harvest December Autumn! Alright, this union in October. This ought to be fun. I hope you all enjoyed that. My name is Dragonite, and I will see you all later.